Australia, a land of diverse landscapes and unique wildlife, is also home to one of the world's most ambitious structures, the Great Australian Fence. Stretching for thousands of kilometers, this remarkable barrier is more than just a fence. It's a testament to human ingenuity and a symbol of our complex relationship with the natural world. Imagine driving through the Australian outback, the sun beating down on vast plains, and suddenly, a seemingly endless fence appears on the horizon. The fence, made up of different sections built over decades, is a patchwork of materials and construction. But what led to the creation of this colossal structure? The story of the Great Australian Fence is a fascinating tale of ecological change, human intervention, and the challenges of balancing competing interests in a fragile environment. Join us as we delve into the history, the impact, and the future of the Great Australian Fence. To understand the Great Australian Fence, we must first understand the creature it was built to control, the dingo. Dingoes, with their sandy coats and sharp eyes, are an integral part of the Australian landscape. These wild dogs, descendants of domesticated dogs brought to Australia thousands of years ago, have long been both revered and feared by the people who share their land. However, with the arrival of European settlers and their sheep flocks, a conflict arose. Dingoes, opportunistic predators, saw the introduced sheep as easy prey, leading to significant losses for farmers. The solution, as many saw it, was to build a fence so vast, so impenetrable, that it would separate the sheep grazing lands of the south from the dingoes' northern territories. Despite critics arguing it was costly and potentially futile, the fence continued to grow, becoming an increasingly prominent feature of the Australian outback. The Great Australian Fence, while conceived as a solution to a human-wildlife conflict, has had profound and often unforeseen impacts on the Australian ecosystem. By dividing the landscape, the fence has created a barrier not only for dingoes, but for a multitude of other species, disrupting ancient migratory patterns and altering the delicate balance of predator and prey relationships. One of the most significant ecological impacts of the fence is its effect on kangaroo populations. With dingoes largely absent on the southern side of the fence, kangaroo numbers have exploded in some areas, leading to overgrazing and competition for resources with other herbivores. The fence also acts as a barrier for smaller animals, including reptiles, amphibians, and invertebrates, restricting their movements and fragmenting habitats. The impact of the fence on dingo populations themselves is complex and not fully understood, raising concerns about genetic isolation and the potential for inbreeding. The fence, intended to manage a single species, has triggered a cascade of ecological effects, highlighting the intricate web of life that it bisects. The Great Australian Fence is not a static structure. Its path has shifted and changed over the decades, influenced by factors such as government policies, agricultural practices, and even the weather. Initially, the fence followed property lines and natural landmarks, its construction driven by individual landowners and local communities. However, as the fence's scope expanded, so too did government involvement. State governments took on a more active role in managing the fence, recognizing its importance for the wool industry and the broader Australian economy. Political winds also influenced the fence's trajectory, with changes in government and agricultural policies leading to periods of expansion and contraction. Even the harsh Australian climate has played a part in shaping the fence, with floods, droughts, and bushfires requiring constant maintenance and repairs. The fence, a symbol of human endeavor, is also a reminder of the powerful forces of nature that constantly reshape the Australian landscape. Section 5, Guardians of the Fence Life on the Line. Maintaining the Great Australian Fence is a monumental task, one that falls to a dedicated group of individuals who live and work in some of Australia's most remote and challenging environments. These fence inspectors, often referred to as boundary riders, are the unsung heroes of the outback, responsible for patrolling, repairing, and protecting this vital barrier. Life as a fence inspector is solitary and demanding. They spend weeks, sometimes months, away from civilization, traversing vast distances in four-wheel drive vehicles or on horseback. Their days are filled with inspecting the fence for damage, repairing broken wires, replacing damaged posts, and clearing vegetation that might allow animals to cross. The work is physically demanding and requires a deep understanding of the outback environment, contending with scorching heat, biting insects, and dangerous wildlife. Yet these individuals approach their work with a quiet determination, driven by a sense of purpose and a love for the land they protect. Section 6. The Fence and Fire, an unexpected relationship. The Australian outback is a land shaped by fire. For millennia, natural bushfires have swept across the landscape, playing a crucial role in shaping vegetation and influencing the life cycles of plants and animals. The Great Australian Fence, while intended to manage wildlife, has also become an unexpected factor in the outback's fire regime, with both positive and negative consequences. On the one hand, the fence can act as a firebreak, slowing or even stopping the spread of wildfires, protecting valuable grazing land and infrastructure. However, the fence can also exacerbate the impact of fires, with its accumulation of dry grass and debris becoming a fire hazard. Furthermore, the fence can impede the movement of wildlife fleeing from fires, trapping them in their path and leading to increased mortality. The relationship between the fence and fire highlights the complex and often unpredictable interactions between human-made structures and natural processes. Section 7. A barrier to biodiversity. The Great Australian Fence has undeniably altered the natural landscape and raised concerns about its impact on biodiversity. By fragmenting habitats and disrupting movements, the fence threatens the survival of numerous species. It restricts gene flow, leading to reduced genetic diversity and increased inbreeding. Migratory species are also affected, disrupting their traditional routes. Despite these concerns, some species benefit from the fence's presence. The exclusion of dingoes has led to the recovery of some small mammal populations. Section 8. The Fence and the Future, Climate Change and Beyond. As Australia faces climate change, the future of the Great Australian Fence is uncertain. Rising temperatures and prolonged droughts will exacerbate pressures on the fence and ecosystems. More frequent bushfires pose another threat, with the fence acting as a fire hazard. Balancing agriculture, conservation, and wildlife will be crucial in these uncertain times. Section 9. Beyond the Fence Line, Coexistence and Conservation. The Great Australian Fence stands as a stark reminder of the challenges of coexisting with wildlife in a human-dominated world. As we move forward, it is essential to look beyond the fence line and explore alternative approaches to conservation and conflict resolution. Investing in scientific research is crucial to understanding the complex ecological dynamics at play, including studying dingo behavior and the impact of the fence on various species. Fostering collaboration and dialogue among stakeholders is equally important, bringing together farmers, ranchers, indigenous communities, conservationists, and policymakers. Exploring and promoting non-lethal methods of mitigating human-wildlife conflict is essential, such as using guardian animals and implementing fencing modifications. Ultimately, the future of dingoes and other wildlife in Australia depends on our willingness to adopt a more holistic and compassionate approach to conservation. This involves recognizing the intrinsic value of all species, respecting their place in the ecosystem, and finding ways to coexist peacefully on this shared planet. Section 10. The Great Australian Fence, a Legacy in the Making. The Great Australian Fence, a testament to human ambition and our enduring struggle to manage the natural world, stands as a potent symbol of the complexities of conservation and the often unforeseen consequences of our actions. Its legacy continues to shape the Australian landscape and influence the lives of both people and wildlife. The fence serves as a reminder of the interconnectedness of ecosystems and the need for careful consideration of the potential impacts of human interventions. It challenges us to question our assumptions, to learn from past mistakes, and to strive for a more harmonious coexistence with the natural world. The Great Australian Fence, with its weathered posts and endless stretches of wire, will continue to stand as a symbol of our evolving relationship with the wild. Section 11. What the Future Holds. The Great Australian Fence, a monument to human endeavor, faces an uncertain future. Climate change tightens its grip, making the fence's role and maintenance subject to debate. Balancing agricultural demands with conservation requires innovative thinking. The future may lie in relocating sections and alternative dingo management. The fate of the fence rests in the hands of future generations.